Hey everybody, it's Certified Health Coach Susan Zartman, and tonight we are in Chapter 11, but it's a good thing. It's Chapter 11 of Dr. A's Habits of Health. And it's all about the science of healthy eating and weight loss. And this chapter is loaded with great information, so we'll be able to go over every detail tonight, but hopefully it'll pique your curiosity. You'll kind of know what's in it as a resource, and I highly recommend you take some time at some point to read through it. But anyway, if you have a fine race car, you'd be really careful of the kind of fuel that you put into it. If you put the wrong kind of fuel in it and your car is not going to run, that's not going to get very good mileage. You're not going to be winning any races. You be sure you have the right kind of tire pressure and all those details. And your body is so much more precious than a race car. You know, race cars really can be replaced and they can be rebuilt. Your body, you get one, and you want it to last your whole life. So anyway, taking care of it's great. So congratulations on taking charge of your health. So anyway, we're going to go in here on page 131 if you have the book. And, you know, we're learning all about eating around the habits of health system. And one of those things is going to be about portion control. I'm sure you've heard about that on all kinds of programs, and we try to control our portions. But it's hard to just without a real good system. And that's why as part of our program, we use fuelings that are portion controlled. They're prepackaged. I couldn't have lost 137 pounds if I'd had to do all the shopping, all the cooking, all the prep. I wouldn't have been disciplined enough to make all those things. So having them easy to grab and go is fabulous. And, you know, they're safe and effective, and they're backed by a wealth of scientific research. And for lots of people, with those of us that have really busy lifestyles, this is healthy, nutritious fuel. It's high quality fast food. And it also becomes a permanent tool for weight loss or weight maintenance, not just the weight loss. And so it's a great tool. You know, a lot of us have taken weight off in all kinds of ways over the years, but few of us keep it off, and usually we put more back on and then some. So anyway, the other thing is using a 9-inch plate. And we've talked about that in previous sessions here, and just having that visualization of a 9-inch plate, blue is preferred, and then how you split up your protein, your complex carbs, and your fruits and vegetables. The second system here is 3-hour fueling. So we're eating every 3 hours, and paired with low glycemic eating, this turns off our insulin pump. It keeps us at an even energy level and helps us to avoid wide swings in glucose or blood sugar and other key nutrients. It also decreases your body's workload, and Dr. A believes it will be shown to reduce dangerous oxygen radicals that lead to inflammation and disease. And of course, it reduces the chances that you'll overeat due to cravings. And when it comes to fuel percentages, he talks about macronutrients, which are the nutrients that we need in a large quantity, while the smaller quantity of things we need is called micronutrients. And macronutrients as fuel, and basically carbohydrates and protein both have 4 calories, and calories, a measurement of energy per gram. Fats have got 9 per gram, and alcohol has got 7 per gram. And carbohydrates should be about 50% of your daily calories. And when you eat carbohydrates, your blood sugar or glucose level rises, and that causes your pancreas to secrete insulin. This flood of insulin unlocks the gates that allows your body's tissues, especially muscle, your greatest energy consumer, to use glucose as an energy source. As a result, your blood sugar returns to normal. In a healthy individual, glucose levels peak about 30 minutes after a meal. And just really keeps us kind of going in a curve there. Every time you eat, it's going up and down. And so that's why every 3 hours it's kind of helping to balance it out there. And when your insulin levels are too high for too long, a result of eating unhealthy, high glycemic foods, you can move quickly from a state of health to a state of sickness and disease. Unfortunately, as we go about consuming our supersized meals in bliss, The damage begins without notice. Deep inside, high insulin levels are creating a state of inflammation, decreasing the flexibility of your blood vessels and causing premature aging of your cells. These are warnings to be had. Poor sleep, low energy, headaches, thirst, cravings, and hunger. But for many of us, these signs seem nothing more than a reason to stop at the fast food drive-thru or a local drugstore to grab a soda and some painkillers. In fact, over 8 million Americans right now have diabetes, and they don't know it. The good news is, once you get your fueling mix correct through Dr. A's Healthy Eating Program, you're going to feel unbelievably better. It will be like switching to a high-performance fuel. And what's more, it has the power to prevent diabetes, stop it in its tracks. And then he talks about the power of low glycemic eating. And remember that food can be used in two ways, either as an energy source or stored away in fat cells. When you eat a high glycemic meal, these cells respond by turning on the insulin and stimulating an enzyme that ramps up your fat storage system. I don't want that. Low glycemic eating, on the other hand, shuts down your fat factory. And before we started the program, probably most of us ate way too many calories, and mostly from unhealthy carbohydrates like soda, bread, cookies, pizza, cornflakes, instant rice, any number of cheap, plentiful, and tasty high glycemic foods. And the glycemic index was something that was created in 1981 by Dr. David J.A. Jenkins. It provides a standard for determining which foods raise your blood sugar the highest, stimulating insulin production and weight gain. Using pure glucose or sugar as a reference point, Dr. Jenkins fed a variety of foods to his subjects and studied what happened to their glucose and insulin levels. So anyway, he just broke down some different foods and how it functions in our system. So that's why when you're looking in the books, he's got things broken down by the glycemic index. And let's see here. And when you eat low glycemic foods, your blood sugar and insulin levels don't rise as dramatically as they do when you eat high glycemic foods. As a result, you don't get a rebound effect that can cause your blood sugar to dip below normal between meals, and that leads to cravings and hunger pains. And something about the modern day, if you're eating an unhealthy, high glycemic foods all day, such as the typical Western diet, you experience enormous swings in blood sugar levels. Peaks that then dip down to lows between meals. Your insulin levels stay high, causing you to store energy as fat and putting an enormous burden on your pancreas and paving the way to metabolic syndrome and insidious diseases like diabetes. And then let's see, fat should be less than 25% of your daily calories, and less than 7% should be from saturated fat. Fat, unlike carbohydrates, has little effect on blood sugar and insulin levels. However, fat is extremely energy dense, meaning that even a small amount contains a lot of calories. Fat's role in weight gain and weight loss is related to its energy density rather than its effect on glucose and insulin. In fact, with 9 calories per gram, it provides over twice the energy per gram as carbohydrates. And so that's why grabbing too many like nuts and things can cause you some problems and kind of stop the fat burning and put some back on there. And then protein should be 20 to 25% of your daily calories. And while protein provides energy, it's also our body's building block for cellular structure, immune function, and a myriad of health-giving processes. With our eating plan, every meal includes a highly digestible protein source, and you benefit from a constant supply of this important nutrient. Regular protein means that your body has adequate building material for the repair and growth of critical support structures. On top of which, studies have shown protein to be highly effective in spurring weight loss and maintenance. First, by helping you feel full, and second, by requiring more energy to digest than carbs and fats do. And we'll talk more about weight loss in a later section. And then he's got a section here on alcohol. So if you enjoy drinking alcohol, I would suggest checking out and reading a little bit about that on page 137. On page 138, the second core principle, the first one was on portion control. Now we're talking about hunger control. And it's satiety, the science of fullness. And this emergency science of appetite control has given us a number of important ideas that can make your new leptogenic, and leptogenic is something likely to become thin, the world of thinness that much stronger. And one thing is volume, and that's the key to being satisfied. Research shows that we eat about the same volume or weight of food every day. So it makes sense if you want to feel full quicker, eat foods that are low density. That means they contain a lot of water, and high volume, meaning there's a large amount per calorie. Vegetables and fruits are a good example. In addition to being high in water content, they contain lots of nutrients, so they create a sense of fullness. That's why making foods from this group a large part of your meal, which you do in our healthy eating system, an effective tool for weight loss and maintenance. Second thing would be controlling your intake through energy density. And I never even have heard of energy density. And it's really, it says that knowing how to choose this is a big help in promoting weight loss and maintenance. And it says that it's ED, which is what they call it, energy density, is a number already important part of the food labels on products in Europe and Canada. But since we don't have that information on our food packagings, you can calculate it yourself. And basically, you divide the number of calories in one serving by the weight of that serving in grams. Anyway, we're not going to beat that up, but it's on page 138. So that'd be something really good to check out. And he kind of ranks them and helps you understand that. And I've got a picture here. He did a photo of or illustration of food groupings by energy density. And you can see up here that the lowest energy density foods would be things like most fruits and vegetables, skim milk, broth-based soups. And the highest ones, no surprise, crackers, chips, chocolate candies, cookies, nuts, butter, and full condiments. Interesting, nuts is on there, huh? And then some lower ones would be things like the cooked grains, cereals with low-fat milk, salad, low-fat mixed dishes, low-fat meats, beans, and legumes. And then kind of a more medium energy density would be meat, cheeses, high-fat mixed dishes, salad dressing, some snack foods. So on our program, there are some of those options available in all those categories. And to feel satisfied while keeping calories in check, you want to choose foods mostly from the lowest ED section. And again, you can, this is a little tip to fill up faster. Start with a broth-based soup or a big low-density salad as your first course. And then he goes on to talk about flavor enhancement, the food industry's dirty little secret. Did you know that flavor can either stimulate or suppress the brain's appetite control? While science is just beginning to understand how it all works, the food industry has been using this trick for decades, overloading our senses with processed foods filled with salt, sweet, and sour flavors to encourage us to overeat. One classic way the food industry overstimulates our appetite centers is by masking ingredients. It may surprise you to find out that some cereals contain more salt than potato chips. As a result, we keep eating in order to satisfy our salt appetite center, even once our sugar senses are full. Flavors can work the other way as well, and experts at Yale's Prevention Research Center found that people tend to feel fuller and stop eating sooner when a meal contains fewer flavors. So limiting the variety of flavors that you eat may actually help you lose weight. And so that'd be like limiting a lot of your processed foods that you're eating. Instead, use more healthy whole foods with flavors that are naturally satisfying and true. His habit of health says when you're shopping, be sure to check the food labels and avoid any grocery items with lots of ingredients. Studies show that if a product contains fewer than 3 ingredients, you're less apt to overeat. That was kind of interesting. And then he talks about battling hunger with protein. Don't skimp on protein. Studies have shown that protein makes us feel fuller than other macronutrients, such as carbs and fats. And a recent Washington School of Medicine study showed that participants on a controlled higher protein diet felt less hungry than those on a lower protein diet. And when given as much to eat as they wanted, the higher protein group lost considerably more weight than the lower group. Another benefit of protein is that your body uses more energy to break it down. And that means that you are burning more calories just to digest it. So the number of calories you need to maintain your weight might be just a little bit higher if you're eating protein. We had another little thing here that shows you just how those macronutrients are kind of ranked by how they're going to satisfy you and help you stay full. With protein there at the top and complex carbs being second, fat lower, and alcohol nothing, because there's really not any nutrients in alcohol. And that's very balanced in our whole eating plan. And remember, though, that some high-protein foods can be extremely energy-dense because of their fat content. Grabbing a handful of nuts may stave off hunger, but it comes at a price of high calories. So be sure to keep your intake at moderate. And then he's going on to talk about filling up with fiber. Not only does fiber provide critical health benefits, it also fills you up, so you are less tempted to overeat. And question, are you sure you're hungry? Stress, socializing, watching TV, eating out with friends, all of these can contribute to mindless eating. Our 3-hour eating strategy should fulfill your body's energy needs most of the time. So if you find yourself wanting to eat outside of your planned meals and fueling breaks, you may well be responding to something other than hunger. So remember the tools that keep you on your path. Eat slowly, paying attention to all the sensory input you're experiencing through your food. You'll feel full and satisfied sooner. In time, eating mindfully this way will become second nature. Becoming more aware of your eating habits and experiences will help you stay focused and encourage you to make the best secondary choices to support your primary goals. Do you think you could be thirsty? Sometimes we think we're hungry. It's really a sign that our body is craving water. Here's a tip. Next time you feel hungry, grab a big glass of water and drink the whole thing. Wait 15 minutes or so and ask yourself if you're still hungry. About 30% of the time, what we think is hunger is something else entirely different. And the rule of thumb is going to be you want to drink half of your body weight in ounces, up to 100 ounces every day. And if you have trouble getting it down, talk to me. Let's come up with some strategies I can help you with that. And if you, just one little kind of a warning, if you will, that before you increase your dietary protein, know that it can put a larger load on your kidneys. If you have healthy kidneys and drink plenty of water, you can handle a moderate increase in daily protein intake. But people with existing renal failure or severe diabetes, on the other hand, should check with your doctor before significantly increasing the amount of protein in your diet. And let's see here. Going back to page 142. And a habit of health is being aware of your cravings. The vast majority of our taste satisfaction, about 95%, comes from the first 3 bites. So when you have a hankering for something sweet, salty, creamy, extremely energy dense, or full of high glycemic carbs, one of those habits of disease, don't just push away that feeling. You can grab a tablespoon and take a bite, just one. Wait a couple of minutes and ask yourself, am I satisfied? Repeat up to 3 times over the next several minutes while remaining in a mindful state. Ask yourself if continuing this behavior supports your primary goals. So it comes down to Dr. A's stop, challenge, choose, which is great. And then our core principle 3 is waist, W-A-I-S-T control. We want to remove the excess visceral adiposity. I don't know if I said that right, but the fat around your middle. A lot of people think the answer is exercise. And that's true if you're close to your healthy weight and just want to maintain the status quo. But intense exercise isn't the best way to lose weight. For someone who's overweight and out of shape, it's downright terrible way. For starters, too many overweight people strain their knees, develop tendinitis and lower back pain, or worse, from pounding the pavement in a desperate attempt to lose the weight. Plus, it's not even effective. People join the gyms in droves in January, but by April, when those very same gyms are a ghost town, they've resigned themselves to once again being overweight. And actually, holding off for at least cutting back on exercise for the first few weeks of our phase 1 weight loss is critical to reaching a fat-burning state and experiencing safe, effective weight loss. It can make the difference between success and failure. Because at this beginning stage, exercise can actually slow down weight loss by stimulating stress hormones. And in addition, as your body uses up its glycogen stores and adjusts to a lower insulin level and salt intake during the first week, it will eliminate any excess water it was holding onto. The resulting decrease in blood pressure can make you fatigued, lightheaded, or dizzy if you exercise prematurely. So, Annie, that's good news to know. I thought it was interesting. He was talking about a man who weighed 209 pounds and was 42 pounds overweight. For him to lose 42 pounds of weight by exercising, he would need to run 56 marathons. You end up burning about 2,600 calories in a single marathon race. So that's crazy. Hey, is that Jen?
Yeah.
Hey there, I'm just wrapping up our Habits of Health call recording here.
Okay.
So anyway, the same unhealthy man, if you went on our program, could offload those 147,000 calories of fat in less than 16 weeks, safely and without a significant loss of muscle and without exercise. So that's really interesting. So that's a great chapter to check out and to read a little bit more about what he has to say there. And then on page 145, our healthy eating system is designed to bring order to your day and to restore function to your body. And once you've reached your healthy weight, you can use this very same system with an expanded variety and calories to maintain it. And so that's what's great. It's like I said, they're a tool and it helps you. And, if you got back pain, maintaining a healthy weight is the number one reason to help with that. So anyway, thanks for joining in and checking out Chapter 11. Keep going here. We're actually, next week, we're starting part 2, which is phase 2. It's all about learning the habits of health. So we're going to go back to some things that will be helpful for us. And anyway, let me know any way I can help and any questions you may have. And have a great week. Keep making healthy choices one at a time. Bye-bye.